Peters here. Michael is at the stadium. Don is on vacation. But if you're missing Don and you want to hear Don, me and him did a podcast earlier today, Game Misconduct, wherever you find your podcast. Talked about NHL free agency, a little bit on the Jacob Trouba of it all. So if you need your Don fix, that is where you can go to get that.
He's unreal,
Peter,
right, Michael?
for first 2 days of his vacation, he's done 2 podcasts.
I got to tell you, listen, I'm no one to talk, but this guy's special.
He's a talent. No question about it.
And a crazy man.
There's an argument to be made there. Hi, Michael.
You know what? Check yourself.
Okay. Michael.
The official energy drink of summer.
Yes, I'm so good work, guys.
I like that one, though.
I heard it happen, and I didn't know if you did.
Michael was going for summer, and then he went with summer.
Let me hear it again.
Okay.
The official energy drink of summer.
Oh, no.
I thought I rounded the R nicely.
Good job.
Michael and Peter.
Hey, I talk for a living.
Go ahead.
Michael and Peter again.
Football minds, Michael. They're so deep. They know so much. Not so sure.
We had a lot going on today.
Yeah.
A lot going on. One of the things that we did bring up, guys, was Bronny James agreeing to his 4-year Laker rookie contract, $7.9 million, a source told ESPN's Dave McMillan. There was another pick that the Lakers made, Dalton Connect at number 17. Haven't heard what his deal is yet. Hopefully it's more than Bronny's.
Well, it's going to be because they're slotted in the NBA.
That's right.
Also, that's not a bad pick by them.
No, everybody loved that pick.
He can shoot.
In the press conference yesterday, I'm not sure how many questions were asked each person, but the person that you saw the most of course, was Bronny. J.J. Redick, Peter's favorite coach, talking about how Bronny's earned this.
With Bronny, I want to clarify one thing you just said, which is Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this. Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study 1 because his base level of feel, athleticism, point of attack defender, shooting, passing, there's a lot to like about his game. And as we sort of build out our player development program holistically, he's going to have a great opportunity to become an excellent NBA player.
Michael, do you like some steak with the word salad?
It's a holistic approach, Peter.
It's
holistic.
It's insulting. Because I hate to even attack this subject because Bronny James doesn't deserve to be ravaged or savaged by us. He doesn't. He's a victim of being LeBron's son, which is probably wonderful. He raised by a mother and a father with a lot of money, so he's had all good things. But don't sell it to us like he earned this. You mean there's somebody out there that's averaging 5 points a game that doesn't work hard? That maybe you could get off the, I don't know, the Kansas roster or somebody who's the ninth guy on the bench at UConn? And why don't they draft Hurley's son? I mean, it's such crap. He got picked because he's LeBron's son. It's okay. I'm not even complaining about that. It's okay. But don't sell us. Don't pee on us and tell us it's raining. Stop it. Holistic approach.
I'm with you, Michael. Wouldn't you just say, hey, guys, we'll be honest with you. We know he hasn't shown a lot yet, and certainly at USC didn't show a lot there yet. He's LeBron James' son, and we see that his work ethic is absolutely unreal. So when you factor in that it's the greatest player of all time's son, and he's willing to work this hard, that's a risk that we're going to take. It's important to LeBron. It's important to us, and we're going with it as a franchise. Michael, wouldn't you respect that more?
I would respect it if what you said, or if he just took out, he earned this. He didn't earn it. You could just start off by saying this guy is an unbelievable worker. For a kid that was brought up with privilege and has all this money, he works harder than anybody we've ever seen. And if we're going to take a flyer on a second-round pick,
why not?
We're going to take LeBron James' son who works his backside off. But don't tell me he earned it. He didn't earn it.
That's the thing to me. Like, just keep it real.
He wouldn't have been looked at. Teams would not have even worked him out or wanted to work him out if he wasn't LeBron James's son. What player that you could remember, Peter, came out of college after his freshman year averaging 5 points a game? What player ever?
I can't think of one.
It makes no sense. And again, you're starting off your tenure here as head coach. Everyone already knows you were hired. Previously, you were LeBron's podcast co-host. And now the first time you're really talking, or second time you're really talking, you're saying that his son, who you drafted 55th overall, earned this contract. It's silly. And Michael, I'm with you. I'm loath to talking about it, even though I've done it a lot because I feel strongly, because it always sounds like you're attacking Bronny or LeBron even. But as dope as this story could have been to see these guys on the court at the same time, when it happens under the auspices of the father orchestrating the whole thing, I'm sorry, it doesn't hit for me. It just doesn't.
You got to love when Peter throws in the word auspices, Michael.
You don't get it every day.
You don't get it every day. You don't. J.J. Redick making some smart coaching decisions, hiring Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks as top assistants.
Pretty good hires.
Those are two longtime head coaches with a combined 31 seasons and more than 1,200 wins between them. I mean, look, everybody knows why J.J. Redick got this job. He's a very brilliant basketball mind, and of course LeBron thinks very highly of him as well, and I'm sure that the Lakers brass do too. But to have guys that have been there before to help him out, I'm sure will be very, very helpful for him. From one Duke story to another, Peter has done the deep dive here. I almost have to bring in like the music for this. Because even it was odd that he dropped to the second round in the NBA draft, and then it got even weirder when his family started to chime in on social media, Peter, talking about why he is the way he is and why he may have gone to Utah.
Well, here's the thing, Fauci. Sometimes you got to be willing to look a little bit below the surface, you know?
Yeah.
And if you dig in there and you look around, you see a story that's pretty crazy, man. So basically, Filipowski's family essentially went on social media after the draft, and his brother, Michael, revealed a story that Kyle's former babysitter, who's 7 years older than him, is now his fiance. Essentially, the Filipowskis were like best friends with this other family. So much so that they referred to each other as cousins. And the daughter of that family, who was always around this family and babysat some for Kyle. In fact, photos have been shown with them together with Filipowski as young as 13 and the girl at 20 years old. By the time he's 17 and she's 24, she was at prom with him. And by the time he left Duke, she had a ring on her finger. Now, Filipowski does not talk to anyone in his family. The two of them are engaged. And instead of being a top half of the first round draft pick, as many would have expected, Filipowski fell to the second round and goes to where? Utah. Of course, she's a devout Mormon and part of the Church of Latter-day Saints, and according to the family and what they're alleging, has sort of been coaxing, to put it mildly, Kyle to go the same way. So it's a pretty crazy story all around, Michael.
It is odd. It certainly has a lot of layers to it, which we're not privy to when the relationship actually started. I don't know, frankly, why that drops him in the draft. I mean, there are a lot of guys that have a lot of skeletons in their closet. It's certainly odd.
It couldn't be that, though. I don't think just that existing, like they have a relationship and now they drop all. Like, I don't think it's that, Michael. My speculation would not be as simple as we heard he has an older girlfriend and as a result we don't want him. Well, that's the thing. I think if you dig a little deeper, you think it's sort of like when I was reading yesterday's Mysteries of the Unknown, the one I was reading about a weird rock formation on Saturn that some people believe changes the state of the universe as we know it. But I just wonder whether it's as simple as, maybe Filipowski told teams like, I only want to play in Utah. Like, that's the only place I'll play. I don't know. but I know it's friggin' strange. And I'll tell you this right now, just like I said, it was weird that, somewhat weird at least, that Bill Belichick at 74 wants to date a 23-year-old, whatever that age difference is. I think it's pretty. How many 24-year-old women want to go to prom with a 17-year-old? It's pretty strange, man.
Almost going to need a Filipowski watch.
I mean, we'll see, Fauci. Maybe we'll start a Filipowski watch.
It's interesting. So you're doing your Aaron Rodgers imitation to talk about this.
That's right.
And Aaron doesn't have a relationship with his family, and neither does Filipowski. Interesting.
Well, see, the thing is, Michael, if you were to really go in and do the work, you'd understand my family doesn't get me, and they don't understand it. Back in the day when I was young, I was watching an interesting series that you may have seen, a documentary about the landing on the moon. I'm sorry, the supposed moon landing. And from that moment on, my parents and I, we just didn't see eye to eye.
It's interesting that you use the Rodgers voice here, Peter, because I actually do have something that I think kind of pertains to him a little bit. Adam Schefter tweeted out about 30 minutes ago that the Bears are actually granting Jonathan Owen special permission to leave training camp to support his wife Simone Biles at the Olympics, which I think is pretty cool. But it also begs the question of this. Now, the Olympics starts about three weeks from now. If the Jets did something like this with Rodgers for minicamp, we're not even talking about training camp, we're talking about mandatory minicamp. Aaron Rodgers is going to be excused from mandatory minicamp for whatever. He didn't have to say that he's going to Egypt. Would we have been talking about it as much if they didn't put out some type of release like the Bears did, saying Jonathan Owens is going to get special permission, he'll be able to go to Paris and watch Simone Biles compete?
Well, I think if they got ahead of it, it would not be as big of a deal. Also, if he missed that minicamp, the mandatory minicamp, because a girlfriend or a wife was performing in the Olympics, nobody would blink. But if they announced this, that he was missing something because a girlfriend or a wife was performing in the Olympics and he was missing training camp, I don't think a quarterback could miss training camp.
I guess that's fair. Michael, you missed this while you were away one of the days. And it's always good to hear from our good friend Aaron Rodgers.
Anthony Fauci?
Because
now I know why.
There you go. You did it. He didn't know why Aaron Rodgers, Peter, was calling me Fauci. And he figured it out in real time.
He figured out, as he said, Anthony, that was why I referred to our producer, when I'm in Rodgers mode, as Fauci. It's fake news. Don's an interesting guy, that Don.
Very interesting stuff.
How many more podcasts he's doing the next couple of days?
I think that's it. Unless something changes with this Trouba story, maybe we'll do one on Friday. But we will see.
What it screams to me is he trusts you so little to handle this on your own.
That's just rude.
I appreciate Don's help on it, because you heard me yesterday. Me trying to explain what's going on with that story is very confusing to everybody. Free agent Alec Burks, no longer a Knick. He has a one-year deal with the Miami Heat, sources told Woj. Joe Ingles, 1 year, $3.3 million deal with the Timberwolves, reuniting him with Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley. And you brought up podcasts, Michael, and this is interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this. If I gave you these three names and said they're going to do a podcast together, you would think that I'm crazy. But no, it's real. Former NFL running back Marshon Lynch, current California Governor Gavin Newsom, and agent Doug Hendrickson are teaming up to do the podcast called Politickin', which debuts on July 15th. Thoughts?
Well, I will continue to never have listened to a podcast.
Peter, do you think that's a combo that you could get interested in?
So what's the combo again now?
That would be NFL running back Marshon Lynch, former NFL running back Marshon Lynch, California Governor Gavin Newsom, along with agent Doug Hendrickson. And it is called Politickin'.
No, I'm good.
You're good.
Is that right?
Yeah. No, that's what it is.
No, does this podcast continue if somehow, for some reason, Newsom is enlisted to run for president?
That would be very interesting. I think at the very least, Marshon has to be part of the cabinet then.
Of more interest, I wonder if Peter's seen this. Peter, did you see that they're now making Hawk Tuah girl soap dispensers?
I love Michael's obsession with this story.
Michael, you know what the next thing I was going to say to you was?
What?
By the way, that's great. A soap dispenser is genius. How about this? Did you see that the that NewOrleans.com headline?
No.
Oh, it would have got Don so bad.
So in the New Orleans newspaper, they wrote about the DeJounte Murray trade.
Right.
And the headline was, "From a Hawk to a Pelican."
Oh, wow.
What do you think of that?
Holy crap.
Beautiful.
Oh, I thought you were referencing the headline that was going around last night, Peter.
No.
I got to go back and find it now because it was really just okay. So this is from the Clarion Ledger in Mississippi, actually. Archie Manning, Ole Miss football legend, dad of Eli, Peyton, grandfather of Arch, is 75. When you look at something like that on the internet and you see the name of somebody and at the end it says their age, you think bad news.
Yeah.
Who would write a headline like that?
What is it? Read it one more time.
Archie Manning, Ole Miss football legend, dad of Eli Peyton, grandfather of Arch, is 75.
Yeah, no, it's not what you want.
People were tweeting us Sidney Poitier 2.0. Oh, turn 75.
Oh, by the way,
I'm-
happy birthday wishes go out today. To Brian Cashman.
Oh, happy birthday, Cash.
57.
This is exciting, by the way. The New York Times did the right thing and wrote an article about the guy who interviewed Hawk to a girl.
Finally, he's getting some love.
He's a legend now.
Hawk to a girl's response to Donald Trump's question has people losing their mind on social media?
Well, you know what the question was?
No.
Yeah.
Talking about, like, older men, and she said no way. Like they said Donald Trump, or showed a picture of Donald Trump, and she said no way, in no way, ever.
It's a no from me. But wait, why? But that has nothing to do with Donald Trump. He didn't want to know.
No, he didn't want to know.
So, it was just during the game or something?
It was
It was
just
during. She got an interview by a girl who was scantily clad.
Man, I got to tell you, Hawk to a girl. Who would have guessed?
I would.
Who knew?
I believe that was a Barstool podcast, by the way.
Was it?
Yes.
We love Hawk to a girl. She's got bad taste.
Have you seen the picture of the soap dispenser?
I have. It's very funny.
I'm looking right
it's
now.
It's hilarious.
Hawk to a soap dispenser. Wow, it already pops right up on Google for you.
What do you
Is
think?
it a real thing?
I don't know if it's
I don't know if you could buy it.
How great is it, though?
You mean
It works. It definitely works.
The one I'm looking at, someone just slapped a picture on the soap dispenser.
Right.
That's all you need, really. This is actually going to be pretty cool, guys, I think. Rookies Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese headline the WNBA All-Star
There you
squad.
go.
First-time All-Stars in the 12-player group. They're actually going to play, and they've done this before, but this has a little more intrigue just because of the notoriety that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have brought to the league this year. They're going to take on the U.S. women that are going to represent us in the Olympic Games on July 20th in Phoenix. It's kind of a cool idea.
I think it's the first time they've ever been on the same team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. Angel Reese just continues, by the way, Peter. Remember that double-double streak we were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still going on. I think she's got 11 straight now.
No, I've watched
Michael,
a couple of games that she's played in. She's the real deal, man.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell you, Michael, it's sort of the sneaky great part of this story that kind of keeps getting better. And I like that finally it feels like we're getting to a stretch now where the conversation hasn't so much been about like poor Caitlin Clark, and we're just kind of now getting into the basketball. But Michael, it's kind of a sneaky great part of it that Angel Reese has been this good. And, we talked early on in the season, and we're not even at the All-Star break yet, and obviously the odds greatly favored Caitlin Clark winning Rookie of the Year. Where are we at now, Anthony? Is it getting any closer?
I'm so glad you asked, Peter. On ESPN Bet, Caitlin Clark is minus 550. Angel Reese is plus 350. So it is getting closer.
Oh, Michael,
Caitlin Clark's still the favorite.
But it's getting like significantly closer as time goes on. At this point, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese is averaging 13 and 12. She's shooting 40% from the floor, 74% from the line. Caitlin's averaging 16, 6, and 7. She's also at the exact same percentage from the floor and 88% from the line. Neither team is doing great. But it'll certainly be a fun All-Star weekend. Yet another event that'll be probably will be the most talked about moment in WNBA history. I mean, certainly from an All-Star standpoint, this will be the biggest one. Also over the weekend, nice moment between Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark, sort of a full circle moment for them. And another big win for my New York Liberty last night over the Lynx.
Well, your point about that, Peter, is interesting that you said that, because I do remember, obviously, the Taurasi comments, and that all kind of kicked up before the year started. They just it was all I heard from the weekend was that Caitlin Clark's team won the game. It wasn't a whole lot of the drama and this, that, and the other. It was about the basketball, which is kind of where you have to get to if you want to keep this thing going, and I think that that's great. And I'm very curious to see how Angel and Caitlin play together on the All-Star team.
It does seem to be taking that shape of, like, it's becoming about basketball. And being in the building last week, like, it was cool going to the to UBS was one thing for the Commissioner's Cup, but then to be back at Barclays Center on a Sunday, guys, I got to tell you, man, it's pretty live in there for a regular season WNBA game.
What kind of crowd?
I mean, I would say my guess would be there are probably 10, 12,000 people there. It's loud. It's extremely loud from beginning to end. I mean, it's a thing, man. Like, there's no getting around it. The WNBA season this year, whatever hope you had at the end of the college basketball season, that it would continue, the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese hype would continue to the pros. I think it is resoundingly a yes that it has continued on. So it'll be interesting to see if the playoffs can keep that momentum, particularly if neither of those players make the playoffs. Right now, Chicago's in the 8. Indiana's just outside by half a game.
Does the hot dog eating contest interest either of you with no Joey Chestnut? Did it interest you before with Joey Chestnut?
In a disgusting way, it interested me, but I might tune. Well, there's a Yankee game, so I won't tune in. Yankees have an afternoon game tomorrow.
There you go, Peter. You gonna tune in middle of the day on ESPN?
I usually do.
Okay.
If I'm home, I will tune in.
See, that's an event, I think. I hope I don't make you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
ESPN should have you part of the broadcast team.
I brought it up this year.
You would be really fun in that.
I mentioned it to a pinhead suit that I would have fun doing that, and
they said no.
They didn't say no. They said they would say something to someone and blase, blah, blah, blah. But listen, I'm not...
Blase, blah.
I'm not the soup du jour at ESPN, but no, I would have a lot of fun. I do enjoy the hot dog eating contest.
Well, you can bet on it, by the way.
Of course you can. Who's the favorite?
ESPN bet, no surprise on the women's side, Mickey Sudo, minus 1,000.
Right.
Joffrey Esper is even on the men's side. So, look, I mean, every year it's been Joey Chestnut. Names like Nick Weary are some names that people would remember if they've watched this before, and he's plus 700. So it's going to be interesting. It will not be Joey Chestnut this year, so it might actually be competitive. One other thing I wanted to get in before we got out of here, Jessica Campbell, hired by the Kraken, was on Dan Biles' staff in the AHL in Coachella Valley. She's going to be the first woman on the NHL bench as an assistant coach. So that's really cool because Jess Campbell was a fantastic player in college and on the Canadians Women Hockey League and in the Olympics.
So that's
going to be super
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that is ENN, brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Make This the Summer event, Peter.
We're off tomorrow. K Solo vehicle. Enjoy your holiday.